God, you are. Oh, you are. You are, you are. God, you are my joy. Joy is what you are. God, you are my peace. Peace is what you are. God, you are my love. Love is what you are. God, you are my joy. Joy is what you are. My joy, my peace, my love. My joy, my peace, my love. God, you are my joy. Joy is what you are. Yeah. God, you are my peace. Oh, peace is what you are. God, you are my love. Oh, love is what you are. God, you are my joy. Joy is what you are. My joy, my peace, my love. My joy, my peace, my love. God, you are my strength. Strength is what you are. God, you are my help. Oh, help is what you are. And God, you are my life. And life is what you are. God, you are my joy. And joy is what you are. You are my joy, my peace, my love. 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 God, you are my joy. Oh, yeah, yeah. Na, 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 na. God, you are. Oh, you are. You are, you are. God, you are my joy. Joy is what you are. God, you are my peace. Peace is what you are. God, you are my help. Oh, help is what you are. And God, you are my life. And life is what you are. God, you are my joy. And joy is what you are. You are my joy, my peace, my love, 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 my joy, my peace, my love. God, you are my joy. Oh, yeah, yeah. Na, 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 na. God, you are. Oh, you are. You are, you are. God, you are my joy. Joy is what you are. God, you are my peace. Peace is what you are. God, you are my love. Love is what you are. God, you are my joy. Joy is what you are. My joy, my peace, my love. My joy, my peace, my love. God, you are my joy. Joy is what you are. Yeah. God, you are my peace. Oh, peace is what you are. God, you are my love. Oh, love is what you are. God, you are my joy. Joy is what you are. My joy, my peace, my love. My joy, my peace, my love. God, you are my strength. Strength is what you are. God, you are my help. Oh, help is what you are. And God, you are my life. And life is what you are. God, you are my joy. And joy is what you are. You are my joy, my peace, my love, my joy, my peace, God, you are. Oh, you are. You are, you are. God, you are my joy. Joy is what you are. God, you are my peace. Peace is what you are. God, you are my love. Love is what you are. God, you are my joy. Joy is what you are. My joy, my peace, my love. My joy, my peace, my love. God, you are my joy. Joy is what you are. Yeah. God, you are my peace. Oh, peace is what you are. God, you are my love. Oh, love is what you are. God, you are my joy. Joy is what you are. My joy, my peace, my love. My joy, my peace, my love. God, you are my strength. Strength is what you are. God, you are my help. Oh, help is what you are. And God, you are my life. And life is what you are. God, you are my joy. And joy is what you are.
Hello, hello, happy Sunday. Good morning. It is so very good to be here with each and every one of you as we gather together to celebrate the magnificence and significance of the presence and power of God operating in, through, and as us. Let us begin as we always do with prayer. And I'm going to ground this today in a reading from the Daily Word. The word today is divine order, and the affirmation, I see divine order expressing everywhere. I delight in the glorious colors, fragrances, and arrangements of plants in a garden. I celebrate the imagination, the meticulous planning, and the diligent work that transformed a patch of ground, some seeds, water, and fertilizer into a beautiful, life-filled place. I recognize the role of divine order in the creation of this garden, expressing through everyone who worked to bring it into being. It began as an idea in divine mind. Someone received the idea, cooperating minds developed a plan, willing hands prepared soil, planted seeds, then watered and tended the growing plants. My spiritual vision perceives divine order, the eternal dance of mind, idea and manifestation expressing everywhere. And the scripture, God saw everything that God made, and indeed it was very good. Yes. And there was evening, and there was morning, the sixth day. Genesis 1:31. The affirmation, I see divine order expressing everywhere. And so from this place of awareness, I invite you to just take a conscious breath in and a conscious breath out. Again, we breathe in and we breathe out. For a third time, we breathe in and out. There is only one mind, only one power, only one presence that is working in all, through all, and as all. There is one life. That life is God. That life is perfect, whole, and complete. That life is my life now. That life is your life now. That life is our life now. That life is the life that is expressing in divine order. That life is the life of every flower, every plant, every seed, of every ocean, every river, every lake, every stream. That is the life of the moon. That is the life of the sun. That is the life of the Milky Way galaxy. That is the life of galaxies known and unknown. That is the life of all. And we recognize that God, while it is infinite and eternal and everywhere at all times, the highest mountain and the lowest valley, the depths of space, God is here and now. For there is no spot where God is not. God neither comes nor goes. It is always right here, right now. So we recognize that whatever we could need or desire God to be, it is and is being right here, right now. God is being healing right here and right now. God is being abundance right here and right now. God is being prosperity right here, right now. God is being answers right here, right now. God is being solutions right here, right now. God is being guidance right here, right now. God is being clarity right here, right now. God is being good right here, right now. God is being joy right here, right now. God is being ease right here, right now. God is being freedom right here, right now. God is being grace right here, right now. God is being compassion right here, right now. God is revealing right here, right now. I am so grateful to know that God is, and it is being right here, right now. And I know that we are one with God. I know that we are one of God. I know that we are individualized, particularized, undivided expressions of this thing that I call Mother, Father, God. So today we celebrate. Today we gather together in joy. And today we deepen our understanding and awareness of this reality so that we can stand in this time-space reality as the divine, holy, sacred, worthy God beings that we are. Thank you, God, for the reality of who and whose we are. And we endeavor through the gathering of this weekend service to express that, to embody that, to encapsulate that, and be a lighthouse on the earth, calling others forward to their worthiness, calling others home to their holiness, calling others home to their divinity. And for this truth, I am so very grateful. I now release this prayer. I release it back into the law, which is always in operation, responding to our vibration. So with joy and thanksgiving, we lift up our voices and we say, amen.
Amen.
Ashe.
Ashe.
And so it is.
So it is.
So it is, and so it must be. Yes. Well, hello again, beautiful people. Happy Sunday. It is so very good to be here with you as we are in the season of spring. That powerful reading was wonderful as a reminder of spring and a reminder of spiritual truth. It is so wonderful to be here in a new month. It's April, y'all. We have begun a new quarter. It's just powerful to see how 2024 is moving and flowing. We are, of course, always grateful that each and every one of you are here, and we want to extend a special and specific hello and welcome to our first-time guests. Welcome to Celebration Spiritual Center. However you found us, whether it was through the algorithm or some search on Google or YouTube, or if someone invited you, we're happy that you're here, and we're confident that something will be done, something will be said that will support you in living an empowered life and thriving throughout this week. Now, the information you see here on your screen is how to access your digital connection card. This is how you can stay in touch with us, and we can stay in touch with you. All you have to do is text the number here on your screen, 347-472-1078. Just text welcome to that phone number. You'll receive a response with a link. Click that link, enter your information. The most important piece of information is your email address. Make sure that that's there. Submit it, and you'll receive another text that says you're all set. Indeed, at that point, you are all set. You'll be on our mailing list. You'll receive the emails that go out throughout the week. We do send out a newsletter that comes out every Friday. Additionally, if for some reason you're unable to text, or particularly if you're outside of the United States and you are unable to text in this post, whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, you'll also see the link is there for you to get directly to the digital connection card. But again, we're happy that you're here. And we know that there's a powerful reason that you're here, and there's a powerful receiving that will take place because you're here. So this is a wonderful time for us to tap into our news and updates so that we can move forward with this month's meditation, the music, and the message. I am so sorry. I just saw, okay, I see we're saying that we were muted. I'm going to go back because we didn't have sound. I'm going to go back a bit. Okay, we're back now. The mic was muted. I'm not going to go through everything. We have morning momentum prayer. Momentum prayer happens every week. You have the information. It's also in your email. Tap in and join us. If you have a prayer request, send in that prayer request to prayer champions at celebration.sc.org. And I was sharing with you all the inside joke, which is funny, right? The series that takes us back to March of 2019. This is a wonderful series, and I was sharing the part of the description of this series because I think it's helpful to hear this. What if life is like an inside joke that we've forgotten the punchline to? As we play the game of life, we eventually discover that there are rules we agreed to that can be broken, lies we believe that must be discarded, and agreements we've made that must be renegotiated. This month, we will learn how to break those rules, stop believing the lies, and negotiate new terms for our time here on planet Earth. We're all in on the biggest cosmic joke ever told, but it's only funny when you know how to win the game. Beautiful. So I encourage you to tap into that series. It's available on the homepage of our YouTube channel, and you can tap into that series. There are about 5 sermons in that series that I think will be wonderful and supportive. The Affirmative Prayer Mastermind is back and starting up again on May 1st. As I shared as we announced and first launched this series, that this course will be available once a quarter. And so the next offering for the Affirmative Prayer Mastermind happens on May 1st, begins on May 1st. And I'm really excited because we just finished the first class on this past Wednesday. Some powerful transformations have taken place. Some powerful awarenesses have taken place. Prayers have been answered. Really, really powerful in only 4 weeks. And so through the Affirmative Prayer Mastermind, what you get to do is learn to apply the power of prayer and activate the mastermind principle as you join with others to experience and manifest miracles and answered prayers. It's only a 4-week class, begins on May 1st. It's a 1-hour class, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The fee is $97, and as I said, it will be offered once per quarter. And so you can reserve your seat today. You can go to celebrationsc.org/register to register for the class and save your seat. I encourage you to do that sooner than later, because we had several people that reached out to me on the day that class began after registration had closed. Registration will close at midnight on April 31st or April 30th. Is there 30 days in April? You know? On the last day of April. And so it's important that you go ahead and register if you want to be a part of the class. The other thing that's important, and I do want to clarify this, it is important that you're able to be in the class, participate in the class each week. You will not get the benefit of the class if you can't attend live. And because we're using the mastermind principle, there's interaction between you and your classmates that's necessary, that only happens if you're actually there in class. So if you're not able to commit to that, all good. That's why we're offering it multiple times in the year, so that hopefully a time where you are able to fully commit to the 4 weeks, you'll be able to do it at that time. The final thing I'll say is this does happen via Zoom, and so you also need to make sure that you have the equipment that you need, whether it's a tablet, computer, or on your phone, etc., so that you can connect with us on Zoom, because again, there is interaction. You will need to be able to see your classmates and speak from time to time. You can also scan this QR code, which you see here on your screen, to access the registration page. I'm so excited for you all to tap into this vibration, because what we began with this first class in the first 4 weeks is only going to expand in powerful, profound ways as we move into the next round. Finally, we encourage you, as always, to share, like, comment, and subscribe. As you see our posts across social media channels, as you're watching this stream right now, definitely comment, shout yourself out, let us know where you're connecting in from, but also share the stream with others on the channels that you prefer to let people know about this good thing that we have going on called CSC. And that completes our news and updates for today, which means now we get to move into the meditation as we are led in the meditation experience with Pastor Yolanda.
Yes, it is time for the meditation experience. We defined it as an experience before day one because we knew that we would provide information and we would point you in the direction of sacred truth, but it is only through the recognition and the feeling of God within yourself that you know that these truths are real for you. God is alive and well within you and within each of us. As PG said, we are in a new month, a new opportunity to affirm something this year, talking all about our birthright. As I sat with the idea, what is something that we need to be reminded of this month? God's goodness, that we can receive that goodness whenever we choose, that we are a product of God's goodness, and that we are supported in God's goodness. Whatever you consider goodness about the love of God, that's what God is. Whatever you consider greatness and prosperity and perfect health, all of those ideas are the goodness of God. Scripture says, and surely God's goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. Mercy loving kindness, as PG likes to define it. Surely God's goodness shall follow me all the days of my life. And guess what? You don't have to beg, steal, barter, bargain to get this goodness. It is yours by birthright. You don't have to suffer to get God's goodness. You don't have to be anything other than you are to receive God's goodness, if you allow it. And many times we think there are things that we must do to earn it. We don't. We are worthy of God's goodness. We were born worthy. We remain worthy. And so this month, our affirmative thought is, I am open and receptive to all of God's goodness. Not just some of God's goodness, not just the things that I define as good, all of God's goodness. And by saying and declaring that you're open to it, you allow that goodness to find you. You don't have to search for it. As you are receptive to it, you are led in the ways to send you in the direction of goodness and also to be a magnet for goodness. I am open and receptive to all of God's goodness. And from this knowing and this affirmative stance, let us prepare ourselves as a channel, as a magnet for all of God's goodness. Go ahead, make sure you're in a comfortable seat with your feet planted on the floor. Go ahead and raise the heels and lower the heels. Maybe raise the toes and lower the toes, making contact with the earth beneath you, with the divine feminine, that energy of Mother Earth beneath you. And as you are planted and rooted and grounded, align the ears over the shoulders, shoulders over hips. Plant the palms on the tops of the thighs. Look around the room. You're not in the past. You're not in the future. You're not worried about how to receive more of God's goodness. You're just here now. As the breath flows, as the goodness flows, we will move into our meditative time. Allow your eyelids to close and settle into the safety of your seat, right where you are. God is, and all is well. We begin by noticing the goodness of breath flowing. We make no judgment of the breath. We don't try to push or persuade the breath. We just are in gratitude for the goodness of breath. Whether it appears to be deep, appears to be shallow, it matters not. It is moving. Beautiful, everyone. Now we have the opportunity to take conscious control of the breath, to choose where it goes and how it flows. Let's bring our focus of attention and send our breath deep into the low belly. And together we're going to inhale for a count of 4, hold for 4, release the breath for 4, and then rest in the goodness for 4. Together, let's inhale. Hold the breath. Relax the jaw and sigh it out. and receive the goodness. Again, into the low belly, expanding the low belly, dropping that breath nice and deep. Hold it there. And exhale, relax the jaw, sigh it out. And relax into the goodness. In through the low belly, now up through and to the rib cage, expanding the sides of the body. Hold it there. And without collapsing the body, relax the jaw, release the sound. And settle into the goodness. In through the low belly, up through the rib cage. We've expanded the sides. Now let's send that breath into the front and the back. Hold it there. And sigh it out. In through the low belly, connecting low breath to mid breath, now allowing the breath to rise to the heart center. Hold it there. Center of the chest. And release the breath, release the sound, sigh it out. And relax. In through the low belly, up through the rib cage, up through and to the heart. Activating that heart chakra. Hold it there. And sigh it out. As we inhale and exhale all the way in and up, this time when we reach the top, close the lips, and when you're ready, exhale through the nose, slowing it way down. Count of 6 on the inhale, hold for 6, and exhale when you're ready for 6, and then relax. I am open and receptive to all of God's goodness. I don't have to earn it. I don't have to be more worthy. I am open, and as I breathe, that goodness flows to me. I am open, and as my heart beats, I beat in the rhythm of God's goodness. I am open and receptive, and with each inhale and exhale, I know it more deeply. Beautiful, everyone. Let's send that energy into our feet, those same feet that have been grounded and rooted in the divinity of God. Relax the feet and send the energy up through the soles of the feet. Cross the ankles. Relax the ankles. Energy flowing across the shins and the calves. Relax the shins and the calves. Let that energy cross the knees. We bend, we allow more flexibility, more guidance in the goodness of God. Relax the knees. Let that energy flow across the thighs, the glutes, the hamstrings. Give yourself permission relax the thighs, the glutes, and the hamstrings. Go ahead and surrender the lower half of your body to the place where you are seated, knowing you are held. And from this place of relaxation and safety and comfort, allow that Kundalini, that energy, to magnify, amplify, and rise. As we inhale, exhale, and allow. Inhale, exhale, relax and allow. Our receptivity increases as we inhale, exhale, and allow. Energy flows in and up, and up, and up. Unobstructed, it flows out the crown of our head. And we become a beacon for more of God's goodness. Let it flow back down through the crown. Cross the third eye. Down the throat. Cross the shoulders. Down the arms. And out the fingertips. Go ahead and scan your body, and without judgment, in complete compassion, notice if there's any tension. Can you relax your forehead more? Relax behind the eyelids. As we prepare for our silent time, if the mind wanders, it is perfectly okay. It's just doing what the mind is designed to do. When you become aware, lovingly, gently bring it back to our affirmative thought. I am open and receptive to all of God's goodness. Not some, but all. I am open and receptive to all of God's goodness. We are open and receptive to all of God's goodness. You are open and receptive to all of God's goodness now. With our eyelids still closed, we continue to marinate in the goodness of God's love, its grace, its prosperity, its peace, however you define God's goodness. With our eyelids still closed, we remember that we can access this goodness very easily by affirming it for ourselves, by declaring and decreeing. With our eyelids still closed, we know that this goodness cannot be taken from us. It is ours now and forever. Let us continue to remember, and if this week gets challenging, we affirm, I am open and receptive to all of God's goodness. In fact, let's bring that goodness back with us. If the palms are turned up, turn them down and go ahead and inhale. Draw the shoulders up by the ears, starting to slowly wake the body as we release the shoulder blades nice and easy. Back and down. Inhale, expanding. Full breath in through the nostrils. Exhaling through the nostrils, releasing the shoulder blades back and down. And one more time, inhaling up. Exhaling, releasing the shoulder blades back and down. Bring the palms together at heart center. Lightly touch the thumbs into the sternum, a little bony ridge at the center of the chest. Bow the chin towards the fingertips, pausing to notice how energy continues to flow from the base of the neck all the way down the spine. Bowing in honor of the time we've given ourselves and that we've committed to together. Allow the eyelids to gently open, finding a soft resting place. Inhale, raise the chin, raise the gaze, release the breath, maintain the peace. Namaste.
Yes, yes, yes. Release the breath, maintain the peace. Namaste. Thank you, PY.
You're welcome.
Well, as we have begun this new month that, of course, begins, we have a new meditation. It also means that we have a new sermon series, and we're beginning a new 7-week series. This is going to take us through May. Tell Me About Your God, which is inspired by a short text, I'll share it with you later, by Emmett Fox on the 7 main aspects of God. And so we're going to move through those 7 each week and unpack what that all means. But of course, before we get into the message, we have to hear the music from Soul 21. Today's sermon title is Life Be Lifin. So I'll see you on the other side.
So this song takes us even deeper into that understanding that when we understand that God is all there is, we understand that it is our everything, my everything. It's the thing that I live, move, and have my being in. When you breathe in air, that's your air. I can't breathe in your air. That's God. That's your God that you're breathing in. The blood that's flowing in your veins, that is your God. God within you, my God, flowing through your veins. Yes, yes? Yes. It is your absolute everything. Mm-hmm. live and breathe. You're in all I see. You are life in me, my everything. All right, yeah.
Your infinity, stars and galaxies, yeah.
You are life in me, my everything. There is one life. Yeah, yeah. It's the power. It says it loves me. And it says I'm worthy. And there is nothing that can change. Where would I be without this love? Where would I be without this joy? In you I live and breathe. You're in all I see. You are life in me, my everything. Your infinity, the stars and the galaxies. You are life in me, my everything. Yeah. It's in the mountains and it's in the flowers. It's the power that we use to create the life we see. Oh, and it says it loves me. And it says I'm worthy. And there is nothing that can change this love. Oh, nothing exists without love. No, nothing exists without love. Tell me where. Oh, in you I live and breathe. You're in all I see. You're my everything. Oh, in you I live and breathe. You're my everything. Soul 21. Can you sing that for me? You're my everything. You're my everything. You, I live and breathe, yeah. I live and breathe. Oh, my. You're everything. And you tell me I'm worthy. I live and breathe. Tell me you love me. You tell me I'm worthy, yeah. Tell me you love me, my everything. I live and breathe. Oh, my. You're my everything. Oh, my. This is personal. In you I live and breathe. I live. Make it personal. You're in all I see, yeah, yeah. God, love, peace, joy, use whatever name feels good to you right now. You live in it, you move in it, you're swimming in it, yeah. You're my You're my everything. You're my everything. There is no separation when you are living, breathe. You I live and breathe. You're my everything. So it is. So it is. So it is.
Yes, yes, yes. And you, I live and breathe. You're in all I see. You are life in me, my everything. Your infinity, stars and galaxies. You are life in me, my everything. Well, hello, beautiful people. Happy Sunday. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whatever time it is that you are connecting in. It is good. It is a good moment. And I am happy to be here with each and every one of you as we begin a new journey, as we begin a new series and deepen our learning and our awareness and our knowing of the truth of who and whose we are. I invite you to affirm this centering prayer with me or after me as we do each Sunday. I welcome the Spirit of truth into my mind and let it grow in my heart. Thank you, God, in me, through me, and as me. Amen. Ashe. And so it is. And so it is. Well, I want to dig right in the TV series Pose. Love the series Pose. I hope you all have seen it. If you've never watched it, take this as an opportunity to tap in and to watch the show on FX. But in Pose, in the last season, Pray Tell, who's played by Billy Porter, he gave an Emmy-winning performance of the character. He goes home to confront his past. And there's a very tender moment in that episode where he's having a conversation with his mother, and his mother is finally able to release her judgment, to release her indoctrination that has led to many, many years of ostracizing her gay son, that has led to many, many years of them not having a relationship. And she's able to lay those things down. And in that tender moment, she asks him a question. She asks him, tell me about your God. Because she recognized that her understanding of God didn't allow her to have a relationship with her son. Her understanding of God had created this great rift and this great sense of separation. And that she knew that they finally realized that there's something wrong or problematic, if you will, with my concept of God. And she asked that question. And so taking from that scene, that's the question that I'm posing to each of you, and the question that we're going to answer today through this series from a New Thought metaphysical perspective. Tell me about your God. Now, the truth is, each and every day, we're answering this question. I see your answers to this question all over social media. I see your answers to this question and how you react to experiences in life. I see your answers when all seems to be going well. And I see your answer to this question when all seems to be going wrong. Now, you've heard me say it many times that our God concept is the most critical component of our spiritual understanding. Everything follows from there, right? There's a wonderful sermon. You can go back on YouTube, check your God concept. I don't know how many years ago that was, but I've been talking about it over and over again because it really is the centering idea upon which everything rests. And so in Emmett Fox's The 7 Main Aspects of God, he outlines what he calls the 7 fundamental truths about God. And he goes on to write that any other truths about God are some combination of these 7. And so you can find this text, you can get it on Amazon and download it. It's not available digitally, and you see it's just a pamphlet, almost, a booklet. It's very small. But whether you grab it or not, I'm going to take you through the wisdom and expand upon the wisdom that's there and make it personal. And hopefully you will glean the truths from it. And so as he said that these 7 aspects, any other truths about God are some combination of the 7. Well, what are the 7? 1, God is life. 2, God is truth. 3, God is love. 4, God is intelligence. 5, God is soul. 6, God is spirit. And 7, God is principle. Now, hearing these 7 aspects, I'm sure on some level, it sounds right? You agree with it, right? Each of these on a surface level, you have an understanding of this, and that's a good thing. But again, the goal of this 7-week series is to move from surface level agreement to move into practice, and from practice to a full embodiment of who and what God is. For it is with an embodied understanding of these truths that mountains can be moved and you can live a miraculous life. So let's look at this first truth about God. God is life. Now, as I said earlier, I see your answers to the question, tell me about your God, all the time on social media. How many of you have ever used the phrase, life be lifin'? Now, we're not in the same room together, so we can't see your faces, but I'm sure many of you have used the phrase. If you've never used it, I know you see people use the phrase, often in posts across many social media channels. I see sometimes where folks want to give an update, sometimes apologizing for being missing in action. Well, life be lifin'. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all ain't heard from me in a while. Or just to express that you've been going through some things, life be lifin'. This phrase and the use of this phrase is, by the literal definition and the metaphysical understanding, blasphemous. because God is life. So what exactly does one mean when one says life be lifin'? Are they saying that life is good? Are they saying life just keeps getting better all the time? That life just keeps being good to me? That life always supports me? Now, we know that that's not how the phrase is generally used, right? That the phrase is being used to say life is hard, that I'm going through. What I've seen some people attempt to do to sort of self-correct is to say life be lifin', but God be Godin'. And the problem with that is, from a New Thought metaphysical perspective, is that there's no separation between life and God. So to say that life be lifin' and God be Godin' is to suggest that the devil is busy, but God has my back. And what we know to be true is that there is one life. That life is God. That life is your life now. That life is my life now. That is the life of all now. And so even to say life be lifin' but God be Godin' is actually an agreement with separation. And it's not just phrases like life be lifin'. We have all kinds of phrases about life that are diametrically opposed to the spiritual truth that God is life. We're told life is hard. We're told life comes at you fast. We're told life is short. We're told life will chew you up and spit you out. Life will hit you hard and knock you down. We've heard all of these phrases or some form of it in our lives. And unfortunately, these phrases have seeped into our subconscious and are a program that we're unconsciously, in most cases, living from, making choices from, and interacting from. We've all heard these phrases, and we've all believed or accepted these ideas at one time or another, in one experience or another. Now, while we know these phrases, the spiritual truth says God is life. And just think about it for a second. If we substituted just without any metaphysical understanding and just took the literalism for a second and just substituted God in any of these phrases, it would paint a picture of a cruel, unforgiving, and sadistic being. God will chew you up and spit you out. God will hit you hard and life knock you down. God is hard. It would paint a picture of a God made in the image of humans at their very worst. And of course, this is the general understanding and picture that we get of God with a literal reading of not only the First Testament scriptures, but also if you want to take a literal reading of the stories of the Greek gods, right, who are very much created in the image and likeness of humans, and we see them being jealous and vindictive and fighting against each other and mad at this one and hiding from the other one and stealing from this one and coming down the earth and manipulating, right? And so we have these ideas about God or even gods that are created in the image and likeness of humanity at their worst. But we know this can't be true. It doesn't even sound right if we say that God will chew you up and spit you out. It just doesn't resonate with you to say that God will hit you hard and knock you down. Because this does not, I don't know about you, but this does not align with my God concept. And so I trust that it does not align with yours. So then the question comes, what do we mean when we say that God is life? And why must we abandon phrases like life be lifin' or any other phrase that paints life as cruel and unforgiving? Because if we do that, again, then we're actually saying that God is cruel and unforgiving. So in the 7 main aspects of God, Emmett Fox writes this very specifically and clearly. God is life. God is not just living, nor does God give life, but God is life. Where God is, their life is. God is your life. Life is existence or being. And as I read those words, those echo the words written much, much earlier than the words of Emmett Fox of Dr. H. Emily Cady in Lessons in Truth. Statement of Being, the second lesson, where she writes, God is not a being or a person having life, intelligence, love, power. God is that invisible, intangible, but very real something we call life. And so God being life is like God being the canvas upon which the painter and the brush and the paint create. And God is all of those things at the same time. God is the dancer and the dance. God is the singer and the song. So anytime we anthropomorphize life, we miss the true meaning that God is life. Because God is not a being or person having life, it is life itself. I'm reminded of the words of Jesus in John 10:10. It's the only place we find it. I'm reading from the New Revised Standard Version, that they may have life and have it abundantly. And so when we understand that God is life, and Jesus is saying that the heart of my ministry is for you to have life and more of it, we understand that what he is actually saying there is that there's an opportunity for us to have God, for us to know God, experience God, express more of God than we may presently be able to imagine, experience, or express. And so as the master teacher, as the way shower, he's demonstrating to us how to live in that way. And one of the things that's central to the teachings of Jesus is I and my Father are one. I and God are one. It is not I, but it is God within me that does the work, right? He's saying, I'm being painted through, right? I recognize that there's a power and a presence as I talk about God being the canvas, the painter, the brush, and the paint. He recognizes that there's something within me that's enabling this thing. And as it's operating through me, it's also the canvas. That's a deep teaching if you walk through it. Knowing that God is life becomes then a powerful tool in your spiritual toolkit, in your spiritual understanding. Knowing that life is existence or being, as Emmett Fox writes, we know that existence just keeps on existing. Existence cannot stop, right? And so then this is why we have words. We just heard it and sang it in the song, Your Infinity, Stars and Galaxies. This is why we know God to be infinite. I love that when we start to break these words down. We say God is infinite, and it's like, okay, we know what infinite means. But infinite, the I-N means it's not the thing that's coming after it. God is not finite. That's what infinite means, infinite. It has no end. It's without an end. And then there's another word. This is why we know God to be unlimited, right? Not what's coming after it. Whatever comes after it's not that thing. Unlimited. It's actually an undoing of limitation, actually, right? Which is powerful to understand because it is existence or being itself. Existence is and always will be and always has been. God is life. God is existence. God is being. God is infinite. God is unlimited. And in the 7 aspects, Fox writes this: reflect upon this every day of your life, and a lifetime will not be long enough to grasp all that it means. For instance, you could not go into a room or a building to meet God, because if God could be located in a particular room, God would not be infinite. So this is why in New Thought we teach, and this is one of the, I think, central pieces of New Thought theology, philosophy, and understanding that makes New Thought unique is our concept of God, the omnipresence of God, that God is everywhere and everything at all times. We have these phrases, we hear it all the time, but we do not contemplate the depth of it. There is no spot where God is not. But when you're in the midst of turmoil, when you're in the midst of unwanted, when you're in the midst of sadness, when you're in the midst of despair, somehow that seems to be forgotten. You love to quote it and it rhymes and that's cute. But do you know that there is no spot where God is not? If God is life, and life is God, if God is existence and being itself, that means that whatever experience you find yourself in, the power and the presence of God is right there where you are. And that is the means by which you can move out of that situation. One of the things that Fox talks about in sort of the introduction in the beginning, before he gets into the 7 aspects, is this understanding that what we get to do in developing an understanding of these 7 aspects of God is we then get to apply them specifically as we're using prayer, as we're using affirmative prayer. Because what's so interesting, and I talk about this often in prayer, with prayer, when I'm teaching prayer, is that we must understand that Just using the words of prayer and, moving down the line. If you're using 3-column prayer, then you check all the boxes of 3-column, or if you're using the 5 steps of affirmative prayer and you check all the 5 boxes of the 5 steps. That's not where the power is. Because whatever you need God to be in that moment, that's how you must then begin to speak about who and what God is. This is one of the things I love in the spiritual tradition from which I grew up in, right? I heard all the time that God is a lawyer in the courtroom and a doctor in the sick room, right? And so if we're praying about healing, then we're going to speak about God in those ways and understand existence and being in that unwanted situation in those ways. If we're praying for financial sustenance in some way, then we're going to talk about God as abundance and prosperity and more than enough, and there is no lack or limitation, and we're going to talk about it in those ways. If we're we're in the midst of grieving, we're in the midst of mourning, and we're about to memorialize a loved one, then we're going to talk about God as the comforter. We're going to talk about the grace and strength and peace that God is, that peace that passes all understanding, that is moving in, through, and as us, and walking with us as we move through the process of grief. We understand then, as God is life, life becomes anything and everything. That's why we had to hear that song today. And this can radically change your understanding and your use of the understanding. In many cases, our God concept is the same that it was when we first learned about God as children. Humans seem to evolve their understanding about a great many things, but God, unfortunately, seems to be fixed in this limited understanding. Fox writes about it in the text. He says it's like walking through life with this limited understanding is like being a grown man trying to wear the shoes of an infant. And as I read that and I thought about it, I said, well, if that was my reality, then I would say that life is hard. Right? See, we start to understand that God concept then creates these false ideas about who and what God is, because just as we know how painful, I know it would be painful to try to get my big toe in some infant shoes. And metaphorically, if that's the way that I was operating in life and with life, I would most definitely think that life is hard. I would most definitely think that life would chew me up and spit me out. And so there's an opportunity here for us to grow up our understanding. Just as we have evolved from believing in Santa Claus, and maybe the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy, things that were wonderful and cute and fine to believe as children. There was a time in our lives where we thought that, our parents knew everything. Right? They were, our elders, maybe it was even your grandparents, etc., whoever your caregivers were, as a small child, you thought the world kind of centered around them. Or have you ever had the experience, and I had this experience years and years and years ago, of visiting my elementary school, right? And that building actually doesn't exist anymore. They tore it down and built a bigger school. But I remember how huge that building used to feel when I was in 5th grade, right? I remember that, the water fountains I thought were tall, right? I remember that the halls seemed so wide. But when you revisit that same place as an adult or even just as a teenager, you're amazed. And I don't know if you've all had this experience. I've had it. And if you're able to do that, even to visit your high school, it's amazing to see how small the building is, right? It's amazing to see how small the hallways are. But they seem gigantic from the vantage point of a child. And again, unfortunately, that's the same consciousness that we've maintained many times. And when I say we, I'm talking about humanity as a whole, with our concept of God. And so that's why it's time to grow that up. Because otherwise, you're walking around like a grown person trying to fit their toe, because that's about all you could get, in an infant shoe, sliding that little shoe around. Life would definitely be hard. Now, one of the ways we can apply God as life, this understanding, is how we speak about our bodies and what aging means. I've been seeing it a lot, particularly many of my friends. We're in our late 40s, early 50s, and joking. Many have been joking, right, about being sore every day, and been joking about, their knees popping and, making sounds, trying to get up off the couch and all of that stuff. And well, I get it. It's funny. Yes, it's funny. But unconsciously, it's affirming the lack of life. Hello, somebody. See, with great power comes great responsibility. Right? We're responsible for what we know. We can't step into these teachings and embrace these teachings and talking about manifesting and law of attraction, and you believe in the power of mind, but then you're out here misusing your mind and your mouth by talking all of this foolishness that is unconsciously affirming the lack of life. But God is life. So it's another way of saying God ain't here. Right? Or it's another way of diminishing the activity and action of God in, through, and as you. And that's literally what we're doing when we do that. Because, see, God being life, it can never be fully snuffed out. But we can limit our experience and expression of it through our thoughts and through our words and through our actions. God is life. And you live, move, and have your being in God, aka life. And life is expressed through you as you allow it. You can remain fully alive at any age. You can remain fully aware, awake, and alive until you take your last breath, but you must drop the world's stories and the world's jokes. See, my understanding of the God life that is flowing to and through me today has me feeling more alive today than when I was in my 20s, and has me excited about the thrill of the experience of God life that will flow through me in my 70s and 80s. And one of the things that I always do, I look for those examples in the future decades that show me God life flowing as life in, through, and as them. And so I keep those as my spiritual markers. And so I'm not going to get hoodwinked, and I'm not going to be confused, and I'm not going to misuse my mouth. I'm not going to misuse my words. I'm not going to misuse my thoughts, because I see God being life in, through, and as 70-year-olds, 80-year-olds, 90-year-olds, centenarians, and on and on. We can remain fully alive at any age, but we're going to have to drop the world's story and the world's jokes. And get this, when I talk about being fully alive, I'm not talking about doing. See, that's the mistake we often think, right? Some of us, we think we're being fully alive because we out here doing, but all we're doing is burning ourselves out. Because we mistakenly believed when we were young that activity, doing a bunch of stuff, running and ripping, if you will, equals being alive. Many of you may remember a sermon that I gave some years ago. I think it was in 2021. Resting is living, which is a powerful understanding, right? That this is not about doing, and actually we need to be able to rest. In that sermon, I shared the 7 types of rest, which comes from the book Sacred Rest by Dr. Sandra Dalton Smith. If you've never read that book, if you don't have it in your library, you definitely need to get it. You definitely need to acquaint yourself with understanding what rest really looks like, because rest is a form of activity. Resting is living, and it's supportive of living. I also said in that sermon that when we don't rest, we are not actually living. We are becoming walking reactionaries. And the interesting thing about that, being a walking reactionary, reacting to life, indicates an adversarial relationship to life. It's the very thing that people are affirming when they affirm in the negative, life be lifin'. They're affirming an adversarial relationship with life. And this is completely opposite of the understanding that God is life. Why? Because you are one with God, and God is operating in, through, and as you. There is nothing in opposition to the God in you, and there is nothing in opposition to life. But if we're not resting, we inevitably will become walking reactionaries. So when we talk about being fully alive, when we talk about having that expression of the full expression of God and being fully aware and awake alive, I ain't talking about running around doing a whole bunch of stuff. Because most people that's running around doing a bunch of stuff are proving. They're trying to prove. because they're living in a life be Lifin. They're living in a sense of separation. They're living in an adversarial relationship with life, so they think they have to manipulate life, right? They're living in a physically focused expression and interaction and relationship with life. This is one of the other reasons I was thinking about it. One of the other reasons that's important for us to understand the proper use and practice of meditation. Because what meditation is doing is saturating us in God life, and we bring all of that out into expression with and for us. And I love, I've referred to this metaphor many times. I love how Maharishi Mahesh Yogi talks about looking at how a cloth is dyed. And how it takes, you can dip a cloth in dye and you pull it out and it appears to be fully saturated, right? It's if it's an indigo dye, that white cloth is now fully, has that bluish hue of indigo. But if you let that cloth dry and sit out in the sun, it doesn't have the same depth of color, right? It actually kind of looks like a light blue. And so what do? You need to dip it back in. And we recognize that that's a process that happens over and over again until the cloth becomes color fast, right? Until it becomes fully endowed and imbued and fully expressing all of that color. And so this is what we are doing through the proper use of meditation. We are saturating ourselves and coming out, and we dry out. We interact with this world and realize we ain't as saturated as we thought. And we go back in, we dip into God life, we dip into God consciousness. We dip into that consciousness, that thing which is existence itself, that thing which is infinite, that thing which is unlimited, and we bring more of that infiniteness out with us. We bring more of that no limitation out within us. We bring more of that no lack out within us. We bring more of that power out within us. We bring more of that strength out within us. We bring more of that inner knowing out within us. And we must incorporate this as a daily practice. Because eventually what happens, again, as we become color fast, but then we learn to live, as I say so often, right? We learn to live from our overflow. Because if we just keep dipping in, there's always going to be more than enough. And we will never be reactionaries. There'll be more than enough, and we can give. There'll be more than enough, and we can be kind. There'll be more than enough, and we can express love. There'll be more than enough, and we can live in joy. And so when we understand that there is nothing in opposition to the God within us and the God within you, to life itself, this is why we pray in New Thought. These words are not just empty words. There is one life. That life is God. That life is my life now. And so in prayer, we're bringing ourselves back to that reality. The acknowledgement that God is life, and the acknowledgement that life is God, and the acknowledgement that that life is mine. I am one with it. And as that life is existence and beingness itself, it exists and becomes as anything that I need it to be. And so in closing, I want to share with you Emmett Fox in the text. He gives us 2 experiments to work with. One of those experiments, interestingly enough, we find almost the same experiment in E Squared by Pam Grout. Many of you may be familiar with that book. Many of you may have read it way back. I think it was in our first year, I think in 2013. We used that as an anchor, a study for a sermon series. Wonderful book. And we love Pam Grout. I don't know if she was inspired by Emmett Fox, but if you own the book, I'll point to that experiment as well as you, so you can use it. But Emmett Fox writes this: an excellent experiment is to select 2 plants or 2 flower beds and start them off together. Then treat, he's talking about spiritual mind treatment. Speak the word, speak life, pray affirmatively. Then treat one of them every day, but not the other. And before long, you will be surprised to find how much difference there is in the progress made by them. Realize the presence of divine life in the flower bed or plant and give it thoughts of love. Drench it with love. Everyone knows that some gardeners are far more successful than others, even though their technical qualifications may be the same. And the reason is that one loves their plants and the other has only a business interest in them. And so hear this, when we're talking about, and as I was talking earlier about speaking life over yourself and changing the conversation, he says, drench. He says, give the flowers thoughts of love, drench it with love. I used the word saturate earlier, right? Saturating yourself in God life. And so when you think about what we're talking about, this word that we're speaking, drench your heart and your mind with God life, with God love, drench it with love. And so you can use this experiment in E squared. It's the 6th experiment called the superhero principle. And what Pam Ground invites us to do, the theory is that your thoughts and consciousness impact matter, which they do. And the question, is it possible to affect the physical world with my attention? And so the hypothesis in that experiment, if I focus my attention on a row of green bean seeds, I can make them sprout faster. And so she invites you to do a very similar thing where you take green bean seeds and plant them using an eggshell container, and you give one the attention, you give one your love, you you affirm God life for that one versus the other, and watch what happens. Now, he goes on in the 2nd experiment. He writes, some evening when you find yourself in a crowded streetcar or subway train and most of the people around you are looking tired and worried and obviously wishing they were at their journey's end, just start declaring the presence of God as life in all those present and keep it up. You will be surprised and gratified at what will happen. First, one person will brighten up and smile, and then another will obviously relax. And before long, the whole crowd in that car will be feeling and looking differently. So again, what are we talking about? He used the idea, he said, realize the presence of divine life. Here, declare the presence of God as life in all those present. You could do this in Target. You could do this in the grocery store. You could do this wherever you are, waiting in line at the DMV. This is where you learn that you actually get to impact your experience, because if God is life and life is God, and that life is in, through, and as you, and that life is in, through, and as all beings, right, then you have the ability, as Pam Grout theorizes, to impact matter. And sometimes it's good to use experiments like this because you can see it operate in, through, and as the lives of others, which then may convince you that it operates the same way in, through, and as you. Most importantly, realize the divine presence as life in, through, and as you. Know that God is life. Know that life is your life now. For this is the key to your radiant health. This is the key to prosperity in every area of your life. This is the key to miracles and answered prayers. Never again will we speak ill of life. Never again will we speak of life as an other, as separate, as an adversary, as a villain. Never again will we use life be lifin' in the negative. But if you're going to use life be lifin', then when you're saying life be lifin', know that you're saying life be prospering. When you say life be lifin', know that you're saying life be healing. When you say that life be lifin', know that you're saying life be flowing. When you say that life be lifin', know that you're saying life be blessing. When you say that life be lifin', know that you're saying life be joying. Life be lifin', because God is life and life is God. And this life, your life, my life, our life is good and only good. To this truth I say amen. Ashe. And so it is. And so it is. And so it is.
Woo, 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 woo. I was over there trying to keep myself quiet. Life be lifin'. You will never again think of that phrase and not know the truth of what it could mean for you. It is time to grow up in our experience of what God is, what life is, what love is, what prosperity is, what the infinite is. It's time to grow up.
Yes.
It really is. It's time to stop having these ideas that we just accept as reality and start creating our own reality. How do we talk about God? What do we believe about our experience and our connection to this thing called God? You say it, and what you think is already reflected in the way you respond to these kind of things. I've seen it everywhere, life be lifin'. And now you know what it really means, what it should mean, what it can mean.
Absolutely.
Let's grow up, y'all, in our concept of God.
Yeah.
Let's grow up in our relationship to what God is and what we are and what life is.
Yeah.
It's time to take your big toe out of that little shoe.
Absolutely.
Thank you, PG. This is a
you're
good
welcome.
one. This series is going to change everything.
Yes. We are so grateful. Please, of course, share this with anyone that you know this will resonate with. Invite them to join us for the remainder of the series. As we continue to move forward with these 7 aspects, these 7 truths, these 7 principles. And so in this moment, it is time for giving. You've seen the information at different points in the stream. It's very easy to give to CSC. You can go to our website, celbrationsc.org/give, or you can text your dollar amount to 347-744-9500. There is a $10 minimum to text to give. What is most important, however, is that you give what feels good. We are not a spiritual community or church that teaches giving out of obligation. We teach that giving is spiritual practice, and we recognize that in a loving community like this, we get to actually practice shifting our consciousness around money and shifting our consciousness around the circulation of money. And that starts with this idea of give what feels good, because we know that many people have had shame-filled experiences related to giving. We know that many have learned to operate from a place of guilt, have even learned to operate from a place of being the perfect student or the perfect church member, if you will. And that has nothing to do with the process of circulation, right? Circulation is just like breathing. Right? We inhale and we exhale, giving and receiving. I give, my hand is open, and now it's open to receive again. And so when we give what feels good, we're giving that amount that feels good to us, that has no stress, that has no strain, that we're not trying to figure out, oh, well, I got to eat lunch tomorrow. I don't know if I can do this, or, well, wait, these bills. And if your mind starts to go into that place, right, of stress and strain, you're actually not operating in the place of true giving, right? What you're then starting to do is to operate in the place of lack and limitation. So this is what we mean when we say give what feels good. And when you absolutely tap into that awareness, when you give from that place and continue to practice from that place, circulating your money, not just giving to CSC, but circulating your money and your increase anywhere and everywhere, then you can affirm this truth, because it is absolutely true. All the money that I use, returns to me multiplied. In a never-ending cycle. Of increase. And enjoyment. To that we say amen. Ashe. And so it is. And so we have come to the completion of our service today. We are grateful for each and every one of you that have gathered here together. We are grateful for those of you that will be watching later today or throughout the week. We love and appreciate you. Let's continue to move forward in life, in love, in consciousness, knowing the truth of who and whose we are, knowing the truth of who and what God is, and deepening our understanding of that awareness. We encourage you to join us and look forward to you joining us on Wednesday morning for the prayer call, and as well, signing up for the Affirmative Prayer Mastermind. Again, don't wait, because the registration will close, and you don't want to be one of those folks that's unable to get in. But of course, at the same time, please look at your schedule and make sure that you can actually make the classes, because that participation is so important. If you have any questions about the class, you can always reach out and we'll answer any questions. So have an amazing remainder of your Sunday and even better week. And we will gather together here again next Sunday for the weekend service. We love you. Bye for now.
Bye for now.